Oingo Boingo. Oingo Boingo.
Is that all right? Is that all right? Okay.
Hey, when you first heard about this festival, what was your reaction to it?
Well, I had kind of two feelings. One of them, I thought it was great that somebody's got the guts to try to put something like this together in this day and age. And naturally, I had a little bit of skepticism about whether they could, in fact, pull it off. But I was really pleased to be a part of it, certainly.
What do you think about the lineup of the groups vis-a-vis the kind of audiences that we have today? Do you think it's a little bit different than it was in the past?
Oh yeah, it's a lot different. Some kids came up to me about 2 weeks ago, and I was in a movie line, and we were talking about it, and they said, well, Friday's for the kids, Saturday's for the mixed age crowd, and Sunday's for the old people. And I said, God, I'd never thought of it like that. And then I looked at the lineups, and I said, I guess that's how a lot of kids view things these days, because audiences are very segmented. I know we were talking a little bit ago about the old Isle of Wight concert that I was at when I was 15 and a half, and how there was 25 bands, but all of us wanted to see every band because all rock was so new then, and it was different. We were all hippies and love, and we're one big happy family. And now it's like that dream got ended somewhere in the 70s, and everybody's got the kind of music that they listen to. And it's real interesting the way they've got this lineup set up. Instead of mixing up all the bands, they've kind of got it in certain sequences, which is an interesting way to do it.
Like it's computerized.
Pardon me?
Almost like it was thought out by a computer.
It could be, but it's just really difficult these days because kids are so different, audiences are so different, and the kinds of rock are so different from one another. There's so many different segments. That's really what the 80s are all about so far musically, is these many different segments creating a real bizarre spectrum as a whole.
I don't think here in the idea of a unison and the idea of us was that they were trying to give an example of how that could be transcended and how people could work together again, or
I think certainly that seems to be the goal here, and I think they've done a great job in organizing it and putting together. So all we could do is hope for the best and see what happens. I'm all for it.
One last question. I want to ask you how you feel about playing in front of so large an audience.
Well, well, except when you're being sprayed with beer from off on the side by your drummers. I don't know. We played 2 concerts last year with the Police. One was in front of 10,000 and one was in front of 25,000. And I'll tell you, it's really hard to tell the difference at a certain point. Once you can't see the back line of people anymore, it all feels huge. So this will be the biggest, and I don't know what it's going to feel like, but it's going to be a lot of fun, I know that.
Did you do Oingo Boingo do a soundtrack for a film recently?
3 of them, yeah. Well, we did a piece for Paul Mazursky's Tempest. They used one piece from the last album, and we did an original piece for Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's being played around right now, and another piece for a movie that's out in Europe that's opening here in the fall called The Last American Virgin. And we got a 4th movie we'll be working on in the fall, but I can't say which one yet.
Yeah, let me ask you about that Last American Virgin. There's been some controversy that the movie is kind of like on the sleazy side. They were wondering, and there's been a controversy over why a lot of established groups have done, participated in a soundtrack. Do you have any particular feeling?
There's 2 reasons a group might want to get involved with the movie. One is they've seen the movie, as in Fast Times. I saw Amy Heckling, the director, of somebody I've known for years. She showed me the rushes. I said, oh, this looks fun. I'd love to do it. The other way, if somebody says, oh, we've got a soundtrack here, they'll say, well, but there's nothing to see. And I go, who's on it? And they go, well, the Cars, the Police, Diva, blah, 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 blah. And I go, great, I'd love to. We're in good company, so it sounds like a fun thing to do. So that was the case in Last American Virgin. I haven't seen it. I have no idea what it's like, but I was simply given a list of 10 bands that were involved with it. I said, these are great. Why not? Let's do it. I mean, anything, whether it be sleazy, slick, a Western, or big production, gets through to somebody else who wouldn't normally know who you are. So I got nothing against a little sleaze anyhow. I mean, look at this T-shirt. You know what I mean? It's sleazy. What can I do? I'm a sleazy kind of guy.
I have a question. Do you think rock and roll really has a place in the movies? I mean, do you think rock and roll really even should be involved with motion pictures? There's been a lot of monumental failures.
Oh, I know. Well, these aren't rock and roll movies. They're just using them in conjunction with scores in a soundtrack. I have no idea. All I know is we keep getting calls to do more songs for films, and I've got so many songs, they're just like all over the place. I don't know what to do with them all. I could do 3 albums a year, so I'm happy to get involved with film projects as much as I can.
Specifically, what did you think of Fast Times after seeing the movie?
I haven't seen the finished thing. I only saw the rushes when they shot it, and I just know it looked real fun. I know that it looked like it was gearing right towards a real young audience. I know that we have a real young audience, and I said, great, Amy, let's do it.